Hey everyone, it's Rafael, and today I'm going to show you a quick automation, and it's a very useful one. This is one for sharing articles or blog media posts to your socials. Uh, Here we have an article that we're going to be using for this example's sake, and the way it works, I'm going to give you a quick overview. What we do is you want to post to something like a Slack channel or somewhere where your automation can watch. So we're going to use Make for our automation, and then we're going to set up Slack to watch a private channel, and then we're going to take that URL and we're going to pass it to this HTTP module, which is going to make the request to that URL, and it will retrieve all of the HTML for that URL. Then we will take the text parser, which of course is going to extract the text, and then we're going to use that text, the article text, uh, to send to AI, and then the AI is going to summarize it into copy that we can use for posting on the socials. And we will call the AI once more uh, to help us craft a prompt that we can then use on the image generation AI. In this case, I'm using a Mistral AI, which itself doesn't have image generating capabilities, but we can ask it to at least provide us a prompt to create an image that can go with the social media post. So we're going to take that prompt and then we're going to send it to the image generation AI service, which is All Images. And that one is going to generate the image for us. Then we will take that information and temporarily store it in a data store. And the reason we're doing this is because this is actually a two-part automation. And this is the first part. And I'm going to take you to the second part right now. And the reason it's been split into two parts is because the image generation is actually not immediate. It takes some time. So we're going to give it some time to finish generating the image. And when it's ready, the service will be calling us back. It's going to make a call back to us. And for that, we want to set up a webhook, which is going to be listening for the callback from All Images. Once we have received the signal that the image is completed, we're going to call the All Images service again to do, well, essentially what's called buying the image. The way this All Images service works is that we can generate as many images as we want, but if we want to actually use the image, we actually need to spend a token. So we're going to, once we've generated an image, we're actually going to call the service again to spend one token so that we can actually use the image. Then we're going to retrieve the copy that we had stored previously, and then we will be using that to share on Instagram for Business. And we'll be making the social media post. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up with you. I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to discard the changes right there. I'm going to go ahead and create a new one from scratch. All right, so what we're going to do is first, we're going to listen to Slack. Say, watch a private channel. You want to watch a private channel, you want to use a dedicated Slack channel for this, obviously, because any other channel that you're using for something else, or if it's a shared channel where other people are texting, you may not be able to, of course, this is not going to work properly because it's going to break the automation because not everybody's going to be posting URLs. So you want to make sure you have a dedicated channel for this. So then we're going to go ahead and select the dedicated channel. And then I'm just going to limit this to just retrieve the latest messages, the latest message that it finds. And I believe it's going to ask me from what point do I want it to start listening for messages, and I'm going to select from now on. And it's ready. Now, what we want to do is call the HTTP module to make a request to the URL. Now, this part is a little bit tricky. First, we're going to be raw content type HTML. And now for the URL, we're actually going to pass the message that we receive on Slack. However, uh, before we complete that, I kind of want to test this. So I'm going to go ahead and run once. There's no time. Okay, I'm going to save the changes. Okay, all right, let's delete this module for a moment. All right, there you go. I'm going to save. I'm just going to test the service. All right. So now I'm going to post a URL. Go back, run it again, and there it is. And we received it. And here is the URL I just posted. However, do notice that the text actually starts and ends in brackets, so we're gonna need to remove that before we actually use the URL for scraping. So we're gonna go ahead and do just that, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. Make a request. There you go. Good. Body type. Oh, wrong. Let's make that HTML. Now for this, we're actually going to use the substrings that make.com has. So we're going to use substring, and then the variable we're going to be extracting it from is the text, and then skip the first one, and then for ending, we need to use a formula because of the way that strings of text are indexed uh, when handled by a computer. So we're actually going to need to take the length of the string, length, and this is actually the trickiest part. Then it's all downhill from there. Then the length of the text can be -1. Now for minus, I actually have to input the mathematical operator from make. I don't want to just type the minus sign directly because due to the way make is designed, me typing the minus sign, make is actually going to interpret the minus sign as text instead of a mathematical operator. So if you want to do any math operations, you have to use the actual math functions from the make interface, which is what we're going to do here. So -1. And all right, we can go ahead and save and give it a test. All right, I'm gonna go back to Slack and I'm gonna try posting the link again, and then I will run it again, and it seems to have worked. Let's check the data, and it worked. See, it actually went to the URL and returned the HTML from that web page. All right, so now what we want to do is, well, we want to extract the text from that, and Make already has a utility for that called the text parser, and then HTML to text, and then extract from data. There you go. Hit save. Okay, that's fine. Just move this around for a bit. Save anyway. That's fine. It's only for testing. Now, I'm going to try it once more. And run it once more. Output text, and there we have the raw text without the HTML. All right, so now we want to pass this to the AI so that it can summarize this for us. So now we're gonna contact it. For this particular instance, I'm using Mistral AI. Is a create a chat completion. That's the one we use to query the AI. If this is your first time adding the AI service or any integration for that matter on Make, here at the connection section of the setup, it's going to first show you a button to log into the service. So in this case, I would click on it. It would take me to the Mistral login page, and then I would log in, and then I would authorize the integration, and then it bring me back here. In this case, I've already done that, so it's already going to show me my connection. And then you're going to have to give the connection a name just for labeling purposes, which in this case, I simply called my Mistral connection. I already did that. Now you choose a model. I'm going to use Tiny, which is like the pretty lightweight version of it. We don't need anything too heavy. So for pretty simple tasks, we can just stick to Tiny and to make it faster. And then for the message, I'm going to add one. We're going to select user. And this is where you actually send the inquiry to the AI. So we're going to say, here is some text that was scraped from an article. Summarize it and shorten it to fit the copy for an Instagram post. We're going to add the actual text. Is this? Let's do it. Okay. And then we want to call the AI again to provide us with a prompt for the image. Again, we'll stick to Tiny. And the message and role user. And then for content, again, we'll say the following was some text scraped from an article. Provide me with a prompt, only the prompt that I can use with an image generation AI to create an image that illustrates the concept being discussed in the article. On the article, is it? On the article. And then we will the text. hit OK. Now we actually want to generate the image, or at least start generating the image. So we're going to call the All Images AI service. Hit generate image. Yeah, generate image. And once again, assuming you already have the connection, hit a name. This is just for labeling. So I said image for post. Can be anything. You can make it dynamic by selecting one of the variables. We're going to keep it simple for now. Description. All right. The elements you want. All right. This is the actual description of the image. So we're going to choices, message, content. All right. Description, format. All right, let's make it 1:1. Here are some other options. We're just going to leave it at that. And now we want to store the copy so that we can use in the second half. Add, replace a record. All right. Choose data, social posts, and then key will be the ID. Quest ID again. Webhook data. Gotta leave that blank, and the copy is actually gonna be the message. I'll leave it there. And that marks the first half of the process. So we're gonna call it social media. We're just gonna call it Instagram information part 1. Save it. And now we're gonna go ahead and set up part 2. Scenarios. All right. Demo. Create new scenario. And call this Instagram automation part 2. All right. And this is the part where we're going to be listening to the response from All Images AI when the image is ready. So for that, we're going to set up a webhook. Webhook. All right. Custom webhook. All right. We're just going to go ahead and create the webhook. I'm going to leave it my gateway webhook. So all images 2, since I already have one. And then IP restrictions, we're just going to leave that open. Sometimes for security purposes, you may want to restrict access just to make sure that you only get requests from secure sources. But in this case, we're just going to leave it at that. All right. Now it's going to be listening. Okay, this is the part where we got to set up the webhook. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the All Images AI account. You go and you create an account, and then you go once you've registered and signed in. You're gonna go to API keys on your account, and then we're just gonna go ahead and create a new one. API key name. Let's say make two. Again, I already have one, so make two. There it is. And once we have the API key from All Images AI, I'm gonna go ahead and click on it. And this is where I create the webhook. This is how All Images is gonna know to get back to us and let us know when the image is ready. I'm gonna go ahead and create a webhook. All right, we're gonna uncheck all of these except for completed. We only want to know when the image is completed. All of these other ones, All Images keeps posting back and keeps giving you status updates for each and every step of the process. It could be helpful if you need more accurate reporting, or if you have a more dynamic app. But in this case, we just want to know when the image is ready. And this where it says endpoint right here, that's where we post the URL for our webhook. So just gonna go ahead and copy. There's a button here to copy the address. And we're gonna go back and we're gonna paste. I'm going to save. And you should see an option to check it is properly working. So you can test all of the different ones. We're just gonna go ahead and try the completed one. It says accepted. If we go back here, you'll see successfully determined. All right, so now we know that the webhook is properly set up. Now what we want to do is we want to, at this point, we know that the webhook is listening in and it's going to get a signal when the image is ready for use. So now we're going to need to buy the image, essentially spend a token so that it can download the image and we can effectively use it. So we're going to use the buy image endpoint. And then we need to retrieve the image ID. Image ID. There you go. And now we need to retrieve the data store record. Get a record. Choose a data store, social posts, and the key has to be, it has to match the same ID from the initial call. Should be this one. All right, double check. Yeah, it should be that. And click OK. So now that we have the image and the copy for the post, we are ready to post on Instagram. So we're gonna go to Instagram for Business, and then create a photo post. Again, you may have to set up the connection. In my case, I've already done so. And then I select my business page. Then the photo URL is going to be the full size URL from the image that got bought. And then the caption will be the copy. All right, and let's hit OK. And let's hit save. And we should be good to go. So now we're gonna take it for a test drive. Instagram automation part 1. All right, so all we have to do is post the URL to an article or blog post, and we should get an automatic post to Instagram. So let's go ahead and take it for drive. I'm gonna post a link to the article again. And there we go. Now we go here and we run it. And it's already run. And now we're gonna go check out part 2. Now we're gonna wait for it to complete. It takes a minute to generate the images. Maybe you'll just fast forward if this takes a little too long. Let's give it a couple of minutes. Oh no, there it is. And it worked. All right, so we got the image, we got the copy, and it's been posted to Instagram. So now let's double check. Here's the business page. Nothing yet, but if we hit refresh, refresh real quick. And there's our post. And here we have a fully automated Instagram post from a web article, which could also be really useful for your blog posts.